Greetings, people. Yard reviews. Right now, we're going to be talking about Sleepy Hollow Season 2, Episode 4. The title for this episode, remind me of it, Irv. It's
Go Where I Send Thee.
Go Where I Send Thee. So, okay, this is a pretty strange episode in a few different ways. Some answers are revealed in this episode, and yet still a lot of things remain a mystery. Sleepy Hollow does that to you every time. This one is based on the story of the Pied Piper, but the Pied Piper is kind of like, of course, you know, Sleepy Hollow likes to blend the supernatural with you know, American history as well. It goes with this family. Their last name is it begins with L. I'm not sure. It's the Lancaster family, yeah.
Yep.
And what had happened was, in history, the Lancaster, he had all the British redcoats in his house for like these meetings or whatever. Then what had happened was, he had actually led them out his house by this guy. He was playing the flute, this piper or whatever. He was a mercenary, so he basically hired the mercenary to kill all the redcoats, and the mercenary killed all the redcoats, but then he betrayed the mercenary. So what happened was, he betrayed the mercenary, killed the mercenary, dumped the mercenary's body in the river. Mercenary basically sold his soul to Moloch and became the Pied Piper. So basically put a curse on the family, that every child of that family, every girl child, once they reach the age of 10, will be taken away by the Pied Piper, so to speak. So basically, this girl gets missing, and you realize it's the Lancaster lady. She had a bunch of adopted kids, and then she eventually had a child with her husband, and this child eventually she became of age. But then you realize that, you know, she says that her family is cursed, but you don't really pay that much attention to it. Then Ichabod realizes that she's a Lancaster, and he sees, like, you know, the old sword and the gun that the Lancaster had, and he begins to like tell Lieutenant Mills the story about that person. Also, it cuts to a scene now where you see the former captain of the police station, played by Orlando Jones. I can't remember his name though in the show, but he's a former captain. He basically, we saw in the last 2 episodes before, he signed a blood oath. So he's there reading the Bible now about the end of days, and all of a sudden he has this vision where he's there.
Frank Irving.
Yeah, he's Frank Irving. So he's there fighting people, you know. He's basically like fighting people in the name of the Horseman of War, killing people in the end of days, and he's seeing this revealed to him in the Bible. The Bible just burst into flames, and he sees this, and his eyes are full black, and he's just in straight demon mode, killing people. Then you see the Horseman of War like riding up towards him, and like he's just standing there, and the Horseman of War staring at him, and they're just like, you know, they're comrades in arms. So you kind of realize that, you know, he's in over his head right now, and, you know, realize that, you know, you can't do whatever, you know, you can't really go through whatever he has to go through. But cuts back now. There was this other guy now, this new character that they introduced in the show, the guy who collects artifacts. He's while Ichabod and Lieutenant Mills find this flute made out of bone, and he starts playing the flute, and all of a sudden Abbie starts zoning out, and she's like walking, you know, in the woods. So he basically says, alright, this is the flute that the Pied Piper uses, and this can lead them towards where the girl is. So he says that what he's going to do is going to record it, pre-record it on a phone, have Abbie listen to it, and then have her zone out, and he follows her, and then they can find out where the person is. Anyway, they buck up on the guy who was stealing the artifacts before. He's injured. He talks about that he came into contact with the Pied Piper. Pied Piper kind of messes him up, and then he realizes that the girl is still there. So he makes a deal with Lieutenant Mills and Ichabod, saying that he'll help them out, but he wants the flute. Obviously, he wants to sell it and make money or whatever. So they make a deal and say, fine, we'll give him the flute, and, you know, once he can help him with the girl, save the girl. Anyway, long story short, they save the girl, bring the girl back, but then they realize that there's a deeper curse, that if the Pied Piper doesn't get that child, then the rest of the children will suffer. So all of the rest of the children start having illnesses. So it twisted. Yeah, so it brings the Lancaster girl now to where she brings her daughter back into the woods, and, you know, she basically has to hand her daughter over to the Pied Piper, but she has a gun, so I guess she's trying to end the curse. Then you know, Lieutenant Mills and Ichabod realizes what's going to happen, so they follow her to the woods, and they said no, they're going to finish it for her. So they go in there. At that time, Ichabod Crane stole the sword from Lancaster, the Lancaster's family sword, stole it to fight the monster. Anyway, they go in there, had this big battle ensues. The Pied Piper has this staff or whatever that has the same bones or whatever that plays the music, so he moves at a very fast speed, so when he spins his staff or whatever, it creates like a little sonic wave, like makes your ears bleed or whatever. So he had these ear muffs or whatever, these digital ear muffs that cancel noise, but then they fell out or whatever. So while he was doing a duel with the Pied Piper, the things fell out, so he was in a stun mode. Of course, Abbie was there to save the day, shoot the guy. Anyway, they get rid of the guy or whatever. Curse is over. That part is finished. Then they basically had to work out the deal with this guy. They said I wasn't going to give him the flute intact, so they broke the flute, gave it to him. Then the big cliffhanger with this is you realize that this person who this guy is giving all these artifacts to, is paying for these artifacts, is the Horseman of War, which is Ichabod's son.
So these horsemen can transform?
No, well, he's doing all these things, but he's doing all of them while they're not knowing. He's looking the same and everything, but then Ichabod also convinces the former commissioner, Orlando Jones or whatever his character,
Frank Irving.
Yeah, Frank Irving convinced him that he's a Horseman of War, don't trust him or whatever, is his son, don't trust him. And then now Horseman of War comes in, has this big conversation and saying, listen, from Ichabod and Mills came into your life's been nothing but despair. I'm offering you a way out. And he basically realized that he signed this thing in blood, and that what's his name, the Horseman of War, basically has his soul. So he realized that he has no choice in the matter anymore. So it's
this is just like
it's all dark for him. It's crazy. I mean, this episode, I would say it's not it's kind of like a filler episode because they introduce like a new villain. But it like I said, with Sleepy Hollow, I wouldn't really consider them fillers because everything they give you a villain, they give you like some mystical artifact, tie it in with American history, plus they give you some threads into where the main
like
villain
all the
and
stories
stuff, kind of interweaving
yeah.
together. So it works for me, and that's what I like about Sleepy Hollow. They can give you everything, and they still give you bits and pieces, with everything. So I mean, all in all, solid episode. Looking forward to the next one. If they introduce another villain, or if they continue the story with Moloch and everything, it will still be good. Can't wait for the next one. Guys, do remember, subscribe to the channel, www.youtube.com/yardareviews. Also email us at yardy.reviews@gmail.com, as well as follow us on Twitter at yardareviews. And guys, Comic-Con this weekend, big things happening. We're going to be covering all of that stuff. So Saturday, when we come back for Comic-Con, we're going to try to give you guys some footage and content, and same thing for Sunday as well, so look out for that. Anyways, me and Irv signing out. Big up yourself.